This one swing concept makes you play great, and it's something you can take straight to the golf course with zero practice. Obviously, if you practice more, it gets more comfortable, but you can literally take what we're going to say to you straight to the golf course. Now, one swing thought, that's a big statement, but basically, if you do this one thing, other things fall into place. What we're talking about here today is making sure our hands get low in delivery, okay? So what we see with a lot of golfers, if they come over the top, the hands are high. So it's pretty hard to get your hands in a good direction when they're high. So if the hands are low, you'll see how it changes my body shape. So if my body shape stays good and my hands are low, it's very hard then to get that club to be moving across the golf ball or overplane on the way down, or a more upright arc. So from the top of the backswing, focusing on getting our hands low, makes my rib cage go down, makes me push into the ground more, which makes me start to use the ground better, more naturally. Again, we're not thinking using the ground. It's mainly hand action. And the hand action creates ground force reaction. One thought of getting the hands low really does make a huge difference. Now I'm going to share you in a second how we can try and do this a bit more and how we can use some visuals to help this. But essentially we're looking for that kind of Justin Rose feel of making the backswing, rehearsing our hands to be somewhere around about our kneecap. Now Justin Rose, when he does this, gets halfway down his shins. So the more you exaggerate it, the more it will influence. The more it influences, the more it will impact your golf swing. Well, I said to you that most amateur golfers, when I look at them on the way down, the hands are kind of halfway up their pocket line here. So we want it ideally for most golfers to be kind of mid-thigh, mid-quad. So practicing it around your knee is a slight exaggeration, which will help then drag it lower. And again, having the feeling of the hands going low, what's it doing to the club and the arc of the swing? It's getting you on a good plane. When we go low to the ground, what it also does is keeps this right or trail arm in a more bent condition. And when that happens, then you retain better wrist shapes, so you don't then dump the club into the ground. If you get your hands low and throw the wrist, you will start to hit the ball extremely heavy. But just for the pure dynamics and reactions that you create, when you are lower, your right arm stays more bent, and then from there what happens is, as you go through the golf ball, we push up off the ground because we're lower, and that helps then the club unload and throw in the right part of the golf swing, and then we try and rotate out the ball. So the ideas would be always make a good backswing, make the rib cage go down, which makes the hands go down, but again, ideally we're doing it from the hands. The hands going down pulls the body down. That then stops any early extension or thrusting to the golf ball and creates this kind of dynamic movement. Again, we see all the great players do that slight kind of squatting action. And we create that squatting action by the hand action. My friend, a good friend of mine who's a biomechanical expert, calls it hand reaction force. So I'll take him on that and say, yeah, massively agree with him, and that's a great way of looking at it. So initially, all I want you to do, rehearse, exaggerate the hands being low, don't worry about this side of the swing at all. Have that feeling and then go and hit a golf ball with that same feeling if you can. And we're looking for it to influence. And again, this is something you don't need to practice. It's a rehearsal, ideally, that helps change the swing we have. Now, I'm going to share with you a little exercise you can do either at home or on the range, which will form, again, practice swings, but a monitoring side of things rather than it's a drill as such. Let's show you that. So I've got a rod just here in the ground, and I've got it angled and to the right of the golf ball. And the idea is, if you look at this now, it would be below my hands at address. So the idea now would be making the backswing and trying to get my hands, again, lower than that rod as a pure visual. Again, this can be done just in the garden. Can I get my hands lower than that rod? And you'll definitely feel you have more kind of bend, more tilt over the golf ball when you do this. It certainly makes me feel lower than I currently am, which is great, which is exactly what we want to do. And when we compare this to the best players in the world, the position the glove is here at address, when they're in delivery position, they're all 1 to 2 centimeters lower than that position in delivery. Whereas if I compare that to most amateur golfers of a high handicap, obviously, the hands are nearly always 1 to 2 centimeters higher. And again, when the hands are high, generally, it's because you've rotated and not gone down, and the hands then don't get the chance to get down, and we don't get the shell of that club with that kind of gravity and natural movement that we want to see in the golf swing. So you can actually go practice swings. Can you feel it get lower? Then if you wanted to, you can hit some shots. Trying to feel, you just use the visual to get you to go lower. It's a little bit intimidating, especially for the first few shots. But again, this is more a way of you practicing it at home. But the idea in this whole video is the conceptual idea should be all we need to focus on to make a difference to your game without having to go and do lots of practicing. Practicing the game will just reinforce how naturally it will feel. I want you to be able to take concepts really, rather than have to slave away on the range too much and do loads of work to be able to improve your golf. If we can give you a concept and understanding of what we need, and then hopefully that just changes your golf swing from say your hands being 1 centimeter high to 1 centimeter low, just by trying to work on that as an idea and the thought, only a thought in your golf swing, then I'm sure it'll help you play better.